So, hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome to this edition of Happy Hour. So for those of us who have been practicing metta, loving kindness, for a while, um, we know we trust. We have a sense of the shift and changes that happen over time when we practice, both for ourselves, the way we relate to others, and there have also been studies on loving kindness practice, research studies, psychological studies, etc., etc. And sometimes it's kind of nice to see things that we already know again verified. Oh yeah, we know this already, and yet here it is. It's kind of fun. We don't necessarily need validation from science, and yet it's kind of fun when both come through. And as a scientist myself, there were times that anyway, that's a much longer conversation that we'll get into that. But just to say, so something I want to bring in tonight is a study that was done in 2008, and it has a pretty cool title. So the title is Loving Kindness Meditation Increases Social Connectedness. Increases social connectedness. And it's a study done by Hutcherson, Seppala, and Gross, published in Emotion, various places. And basically, I'll just say a few words since I brought it in. They brought people into the lab. They had them do a short loving kindness meditation. And then they measured the sense of, you know, their um, their sense of friendliness or connection towards others, towards strangers. And so, um, so one sentence that they have at the end, which I particularly like, especially at the time of COVID, at the time of many of us being socially isolated, well, all of us having less social connections than we did a couple of years ago. The sentence says, the results suggest that this easily implemented technique may help to increase positive social emotions and decrease social isolation. Ah, kind of fun. And yet, this is what we know already. We know that when we practice metta, when we practice loving kindness for ourselves, for others, even if we don't see our loved ones, there is a sense of being connected to ourselves, being connected to others, being connected to life. There's this sense of connection because, again, we know, again, from other studies and our own experience that when we imagine something, that imagination, if you imagine you are hitting a golf ball or you're imagining doing a particular exercise, actually, there's some more recent research that shows that if you imagine doing, for example, some weight training, actually your muscles get slightly more toned. You don't actually have to be weight lifting those weights. So this act of bringing something to our imagination, whether it's physical exercise, which amazingly actually changes the structure of our body, our physical muscles, and not so different in terms of our psychology for imagining in our hearts, in our minds, being connected with others, wishing them well, wishing them well, wishing them well. There is a sense of connection. We feel less lonely. We feel less alone. Um, so, and the opposite way, if we don't practice or if there's a sense of lack of metta, lack of goodwill, or say ill will towards ourselves, ill will towards others, you might have noticed there is more sense of alienation. We feel more alienated from ourselves. We feel more alienated from others, as if we don't belong, as if there's a sense of this social fabric gets disconnected when there's a sense of ill will. So, so we know this already. We know this, and I bring this one study, for example, as a way to remind us of what we already know in a different way. So coming together, practicing in the Sangha with the happy hour Sangha, and also there's a sense of social connection of coming together in Sangha, whether on Zoom or YouTube. So as we practice loving kindness tonight, for ourselves, for others, it's a sense of how tuning into the sense of social connection that it actually fosters in the way of well-being, both for ourselves and the way we show up for others. So that is the setup for tonight. Let's get started in our formal practice. So I'd like to invite you to land in your body, to arrive. To settle, to connect, to invite your heart, your mind, your awareness, to connect with this body, with yourself. Hello, body. Hello, breath. Greeting ourselves, greeting the sensations of this moment's experience, inviting the body to relax, to let go of any tightness or tension. Nothing needed in this moment, nothing to do, nowhere to go. Just relaxing all the muscles. And receiving. Taking refuge in this moment. Inviting thoughts to be put down. Thank you. Not now. receiving each in breath, the entirety of the out breath, just settling, arriving, landing, one breath at a time. Spending a few more minutes to just arrive and settle with the breath and the body. And let's begin our metta practice by extending goodwill to this being who is me, greeting this person who might be tired, might be distracted, might have had ups and downs today, which we intimately know their challenges. Meeting with friendliness, with kindness, wishing well for the being who is me, myself. May I meet this moment with ease. May I have ease in my life. As an expression of our metta, goodwill. May I meet this moment with ease. May my life unfold with ease. May I hold myself with friendliness and goodwill. May I love and accept myself just as I am. Not a better version, not the perfection I imagine. Just this. Just this imperfect human being that does their best. May I love and accept myself just as I am. And I invite you to experiment with putting the palm of your hand, the middle of your chest, your proverbial heart center, just to connect with yourself, connecting the physicality of your palm with your chest, just connecting with this person, with this being who's you, holding yourself. So if you're holding yourself, may I love and accept myself just as I am. Experiment, see what happens. To connect with yourself physically, not just with words. And now, if you like, you can stay with yourself as being who is you. Or if you wish, you can invite someone who's dear to you. You have an easy relationship with them. A child or a pet is okay. Bring them to your mind's eye, into your heart space, and extending your goodwill from yourself to include this being. May you meet moments of your life with ease. May you have ease. I wish you well. Whatever phrases work for you, or without phrases. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy, dear one. May you have ease. See if you can include yourself. If it's easy for you to continue to include this being who is you in this goodwill. May both of us, may both of us have ease. Love and cherish ourselves just as we are. May we have happiness and well-being, both of us, myself and your dear easy being. Imagining both of you perhaps being together, sitting together. At times your awareness might shift more towards them, sometimes more towards you, sometimes equally, including both of you in your loving kindness. It's okay. You're welcome to stay with yourself and your dear being for the entirety of the time. If you wish, you can also invite other friends, other beings into your circle of metta and include them. Your choice. See what's best for you today. If you choose to invite more friends, more relatives, more beings into your circle of metta, may all of us have ease, may all of us be well. May all of us be filled with well-being, or whatever phrases you like that express your goodwill, your care, your warm-heartedness. Perhaps imagining that the light of your metta, your goodwill, is the shining light. Your goodwill is a shining light. shining out of your heart, your chest, touching you first, and then touching outward, your friends, your dear ones. May all of us be well. May all of us have goodness, shining out, touching your Sangha, your community of practitioners on this path, practicing with you. May all of us practicing, may all of us have ease and goodness. From shining far beyond on its own. You don't have to push it out. May all beings have goodness, be well, be safe, happy and healthy, have ease. Including myself. Different beings might come to your mind's eye. Wish them well. May you be well, whoever comes. Feeling your sense of connection with so many beings, so many humans. Whether you know them personally or indirectly connected. This large web of interconnected humanity. May all beings be well, including myself. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your practice. So we have some time for reflections, for questions, comments. What did you notice? Especially with the theme of connection, interconnection with metta, feeling less isolated, lonely, but feeling more connected. You're welcome to share in chat If you just send it to me, I won't read your name. If it's to everyone, I'll read your name and the reflection. And if you haven't shared verbally for a while, you're welcome to raise your Zoom hand. As I wait for your reflections, I'll share something that I noticed that for me today, practicing that the beginning, I'm pretty tired tonight, and I was tired. And as the practice continued, I found myself smiling and smiling more and more, sharing metta for dear ones, and including myself, and expanding the circle. And it just became so joyful. I've had so much gratitude. I felt so much gratitude for doing this practice. I'm happier than before we started. So that's my practice report. What did you notice? Eric, please.
Everyone. Yeah, I just noticed when I got distracted near the end of the sitting, I just went back to the practice without kind of scolding myself for being distracted. And I've been doing a lot of concentration practice, and I wonder if since I did metta practice this time, that it just kind of primed me to not need to scold myself and be more generous.
Nice. Thank you for sharing that, Eric. And I know it's actually very significant is, that metta is also a concentration practice, is a shamatha practice. You know that. And also that you might be practicing anapanasati, mindfulness of the breath, as your concentration practice, just so you already know this, but so that you hear it again. If you don't scold yourself there, also the mind will settle and become absorbed and settled and calm much more quickly. So this practice of metta can be really helpful with mindfulness of the breath practice also. So yes, beautiful that you discovered you are not scolding yourself. Yay. That is, very significant. Thank you for that. Jamie, please.
Well, Nikki, first off, I just want to thank you for you saying that I accept myself and love myself just as I am. That was just such a wonderful thing to say to myself. It was just like a gift. Thank you. And I just wonder if you have any comments on sex and sexual energy as part of meditation, and I'll tell you why. I thought about my dear one today was a friend who's kind of recently revisited and redefined her sexual orientation. And as I thought about her, my wish for her, I said, may you have sex that makes you feel more alive, more connected to your partner, and more joyous. And after saying that to her, I thought, I want that. And it was really easy to extend to other friends and people I know and to the whole world, because I thought everyone will be better with that. And I have to admit, I become aware of my own sexual energy sometimes during meditation. It's just not a topic I've ever heard discussed in my still budding practice. So I wonder if you have any suggestions or response to that.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that in. Very important. So with respect to this particular, because sexual energy is such a big topic, but I'll keep my comment in this case specific to what you asked and what came up for you regarding your friend and your wish. And it felt really genuine and joyous that you're wishing them well given the transition. Yay, may you have well-being in this area of your life that must have been confusing and challenging for you, dear friend.
Mm-hmm.
And then may I have that too, and may so many people have that. Yay. So in the way that I'm hearing that, and also us being lay people, um, to me, the way it sounds to me, it feels like a wish of well-being. May you have wholesome well-being experience that brings you joy. That's how I'm hearing it. So, yay, beautiful. And now bringing a little bit of historical context, these practices, most of the practices that are taught to monastics, and monastics are celibate. So sexuality and sexual energy is something that they renounce when they enter monastic life, which is not the case for us lay people. So and so just to put the historical context, traditionally you would not see or hear this like that, it would be kind of funny for monks to be wishing that for themselves, for others. It's like feels right given that again they've given it up, renounced it, and yet given that we are lay people and the spirit with which you shared this, Jamie, it feels like a goodwill wish. May you have happiness in different areas of your life. The way we wish, may you be happy, or may you have happiness in this sexual area of your life with partnership. So um sounds good to me. If that brings you joy, there's a way for you to express your goodwill, then it feels wholesome to me in this context. Thank you for bringing that up.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we have a reflection from Dawn. The research is really interesting. I feel disconnected at times. So good to hear about this as a means to feel more connected. Thanks for sharing this. You are very welcome. And in fact, I will share the link in the chat when you come back. So given that today's theme is about connection and interconnection, especially if you are on Zoom and these are the times that you think, okay, we're going to do small groups, bye-bye. If you can stay, given that it is about connection, interconnection, challenge yourself gently to stay, See what happens if you have connection, especially if there have been any moments of lack of connection or loneliness throughout your day. See what happens if you stay. You don't have to say anything brilliant. Just show up and just be silent, but just show up in the small group. That's my invitation. And if you absolutely have to go because of a commitment, no judgment, but please don't jump off just out of fear of connecting with other human beings. So with that, we're going to turn our attention now into small groups and practicing together with big groups of maybe 3 or 4. And feel free to share anything you like about your practice. We'll start with 15 seconds of silent metta for yourself or each other. And the rooms are created, and I'm going to open them up. And here you go. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Okay. Welcome back, everyone. The rooms are closed. So we have just a couple of minutes for any reflections. And also I'll post the information about the study. Violet, please.
Hey, so yesterday I was walking alone in Berkeley in a residential neighborhood, and a man came up to me and basically harassed me, tried to touch me, sort of walked after me. And I did, my usual defensive practices that most women know how to do in those situations. And he came up for me during the meditation tonight in the form of connection, of feeling connected to this man in some way. And just my heart was breaking for his loneliness and his lack of connection. How deluded must he be that that's his only way that he even knows how to reach out to people, or is trying to get some kind of connection with people. And it broke my heart in a really sort of lovely and scary way to feel connected to him.
Mm. Thank you, Violet. I feel so touched, and I see others are too, whew, by sharing your practice. It's amazing, right? It's amazing. And of course you did what was appropriate to the defensive at the time, and yet not to carry that as a resentment and hatred, but to feel a sense of compassion for this person who must be so isolated and disconnected. Um, just really speaks to the beauty and transformation of your heart. Thank you, Violet. Thank you so much for sharing this. Mm. Mm. What a beautiful note to end on. What a beautiful note to end on tonight. Thank you, Violet. And thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for your practice. And Jerry says, kindness and vulnerability in the small group was so nurturing for all of us. Beautiful. And earlier, Deborah had talked about stealth metta, which we have talked about before. And this at happy hour, which is walking down the street and just sharing metta, giving metta for others, and feeling a sense of connection with everyone. So thank you all. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for practicing for your own sake and the sake of everyone whose life yours touches, directly or indirectly. May we all be free from hatred, from ill will. May we all feel connected to ourselves and to this beautiful, mysterious web of humanity. May all beings be well. May all beings be free. Thanks, everyone.